So let's begin this, right? The first one is the first step in addiction is the first use, all right? First use encompasses experimentation with alcohol and drugs, but also includes a person taking medication that their physician prescribed to them specifically, right? So the first use in this case is when you go on the first date or when they encounter you the first time, right? Studies show that most people don't get addicted to a substance the first time. So it's kind of like most people don't fall in love with people the first time that they meet. This is all about introducing your effect to his system, all right? It's not going to get him addicted to you, but an introduction is important. Now, that first introduction, you can't give people a high dose of yourself. Why? Because they might overdose, i.e., they might get turned off by you, right? You don't want to kill the attraction. You first want to start off in a small dose. And that means who you are encompasses your facial expressions and your nonverbals. That's pretty much who you are, how you speak, your cadence, your smile, your reaction. Too much of your full expression might push people away. So what you first want to do is have a very soft version of you. What do I mean by soft version? That means lowering your nonverbals. Trying to be as mid-tone as possible, right? So that means that if you talk to people like this and you listen, you listen like this. If you smile, you smile like this, more like a smirk, right? If you talk fast, you talk a little bit more slower. If you're an extrovert, you're more introvert. If your expressions are like this, your expressions are like this now, right? You lower everything down to their bare necessities. Why? Because people get a little turned off when they see a person's complete personality from the jump. All right, so that's the first step. And if you do this, you won't come across as needy, first of all right? And you notice that if you're nervous, you actually break this rule. The more nervous you are, the more expressive you are. So it's kind of like the less expressive you are, the more confident you come across to the person. The next one is your continued use. The next step is continued use. Continued use of the substance. In the case, a person with a prescription might be out of a requirement, or feeling the need to use the substance more, right? Let's read this even better, right? It says, for an individual that experimented not too long ago and returned to the substance, it's clear that they like how the drug makes them feel. Also, the continued use stage, a person is likely to notice that they're not bouncing back as quickly after getting high or the substance. This is because it takes the brain longer to chemically repair itself and return to a normal balanced state. It's important to note that the continued use phase can go on for a very long time without ever causing any problems for the majority of people, right? So the continued use is going on multiple dates. That doesn't mean they'll love you, but they need to see you. That means you text them. That means you call them from time to time. That means you're in their life. You check in on them, right? But that don't mean they fall in love. Usually people fall in love after 2 or 3 months. If after 2 or 3 months a person doesn't fall in love, they may not be for you. All right. Now, how do you know if someone is susceptible to falling for you? Well, how they react to you. For example, studies show that when people are drinking, you could tell the alcoholics are the ones that when they drink, they get energized. The people who don't become alcoholic usually get physically tired. So when you're in the middle of the night and you're tired and you see people who are still drinking and still down to drink, those are the future alcoholics. So that's why it's important to be consistent and not just pull away for a long time. In the beginning, you want to make sure they see you. They may not love you, but what happens is stage 3, tolerance, is a third stage of addiction. Tolerance occurs after a period of continued use of the drug, and the speed and degree of tolerance will vary among person to person. Building up tolerance to the drug is one of the first warning signs of addiction. When a person experiences tolerance to something, it means that the brain and body have adjusted to the drug, and it now takes a greater amount to feel the exact same effect that you felt before. So that means they want to see you more. That means that they can't just see you once a week, right? You first give them a small dose of you. That's why I said that. Why? Because by giving them a small dose, that means like seeing them once or twice a week, not just every day. You're giving them enough space so that if they want to see more of you, it's obvious. And also, the less you see them, the more they want to see you. So it's a sign that they're building up their tolerance, is that they want to see you more. They want to talk to you more. It's not enough talking to you 5 minutes a day. Now they want to talk to you 10 minutes a day. It's not enough seeing you twice a week. Now they want to see you 5 times a week. And how do you know that? Because they'll start asking to see you more. And you got to let them do that. When a person develops a tolerance to alcohol, they realize they must drink more to feel drunk, even though their blood alcohol concentration doesn't change. They will still be considered legally intoxicated after the same amount of drinks as they were when they first began. Now, the next step after that, once they want to see you more, the next step of addiction is physical dependence or psychological dependence. Dependence is a stage of addiction where a substance off user might first notice they become physically ill without the drug or alcohol, perhaps even developing serious withdrawal symptoms. There are several biological elements that play in here. For example, after a few weeks of them seeing you, or maybe 1 or 2 months, the person might begin to develop a dependence where now it's not just that they want to see you. Now they can't think straight if they don't see you. Now they can't go throughout their day without seeing you. And that's how you know they're developing an addiction. Now, the only way for them to know that they've developed an addiction is to withdraw the substance from their lives. And if you're not giving them space, if they expect to get that hit of you once a week, and then all of a sudden you don't see them for that 1 week where you usually periodically see them, that lack will cause them to feel a dose of not dopamine, cortisol. Why? Because they want this reward and they don't have it. So cortisol arises. That means anxiety arises. That means that they begin to think anxious thoughts. That means the fear of loss will increase, right? And you notice that this is happening because all of a sudden they'll start breaking rules. They'll start texting more, calling more. They'll start getting and acting desperate. They'll start posting things to get you to react to them, right? The negative sign and symptom. This also presents a physical symptom, sending a person into withdrawal, like flu-like symptoms, sweats, shakiness. Where in this case, it could be that they can't focus. It could be that they're depressed. It could be that they're not hungry anymore. It could be that they don't do the things that they used to enjoy before. When dependence on a drug occurs, many individuals don't feel normal if they're sober and not using any substance. This stage of addiction is possible sign of disease, right? Now, the next stage is the addiction. And this usually happens with men and women after 2 or 3 months. And the addiction usually leads to them wanting to be in a relationship with you. With the last stage of addiction, individuals find it nearly impossible to stop using drugs or alcohol, even when they do not longer enjoy or their behavior has caused them serious life problems. You're with someone and they mistreat you and you still go back. You know they're not good for you and you still go back. You know they abuse you and you still go back. You know they pull away and they're manipulating you and you still go back. In fact, this stage is one of the telltale signs of addiction. It goes back to the definition proved above. People will compulsively seek and use drug or alcohol despite the harmful consequences. Many people might go for periods where they don't use drugs or alcohol, but they cannot stop completely themselves, even though things seem to be going well. On the other side of the coin, a person in the throes of addiction who lost everything important in their life might still be in total denial. Some might enjoy it too much to stop despite the negative ramification, right? And this is what happens, where you know they're not good for you and you're still there. Now, sometimes we have a positive addiction, right? Where you meet the right person and they're good for you. But the key to creating these addictions is to periodically pull away so that they can sense the addiction that they have for you, and also so that you can notice, okay, they're really addicted to me. You got to understand, people, drugs don't go to people. People go to the drugs. Now, drugs might come to your city, but at the end of the day, you go to the drug. You are that drug. The person who loves you will come to you, not the opposite way around. It's not the opposite way around. If you want them to treat you like a drug, lean back and let them come to you because you're the drug, not them. When the hell have you seen when the hell do you see a drug walking towards the user? You never do. They come to you. They come to you. And that's the only way for you to be the drug, is if you let them come to you and not you go to them. All right. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. These are the 5 stages of making a man addicted to you and falling in love with you. This doesn't mean positive and healthy love. This encompasses all forms of love, toxic and healthy types of love. It doesn't matter. Everyone will go through this type of addiction, through those stages. In fact, the neurochemistry of a drug addiction is literally the same of falling in love with someone. Literally the same. And when you lose a person, the physical withdrawals of losing a loved one, of losing or being dumped, thrown to the side of the curb, it's literally the same as a drug addiction. You know? Because it's through addiction to drugs that people lose their morality, their values, their sense of self, their self-respect. You know, and you see a lot of similarities in the areas of love. You know? Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys ever want to learn how to use your feminine energy to influence people, learn how to use your masculine energy to become more assertive, and also learn how to blend both energies to improve your dating life, your spiritual life, honestly, your relationship life, your family life, your career life, this is the course for you. If I had to make a course for my nieces, I have 2 nieces. One is 19 and one is 15. 16. Holy shit. Oh my God, he's a bad fucking uncle. He's a bad uncle. Get him. Shut up, Melissa. You should get this course, right? And this is the course that I will make for them. So, for example, watch the curriculum, right? In the first week, we're going to be showing you how to establish a strong masculine foundation without letting it hurt your feminine energy. This masculine foundation is a source of who you are, right? It's your bodyguard. Without this, whatever feminine energy you create will be destroyed by the outside, because your masculine is your shield. So we'll talk about goal setting. We'll talk about how to develop a serious attitude. We're going to be talking about how to use more logic, how to use more goal-oriented behavior. It's more how to be a man. Now the next one is how to embrace the feminine energy, right? This one would teach you about how to minimize excessive masculine traits, developing self-awareness, healing abundant feminine energy, regulating your emotion, mastering voice qualities and facial expressions, surrendering control, and allowing pain to be felt. This is honestly, this will supercharge, like Kaioken, your masculine energy. After that, we have femininity in the workplace, and how to be feminine in the workplace without letting people take advantage of you, and the nuances of how women on power should behave versus women who are subordinates in the workplace, and even the dress code. This is based on psychology, people. It's kind of insane. I'm actually excited about this one. The next week, we talk about navigating the labyrinth of male and female friendship, and this a lot of women find confusing, so we talk about that. And how to identify envious friends, how to identify the good friends, how to keep male friends, and how to keep female friends. Week 5, we talk about how to release the burden of the past and stop and destroy mental projections. This is actually really powerful. And then week 6, we talk about how to increase your observational power so that you could read people better. And we have a bunch of bonuses. The course starts at $99, and you guys can pre-order the course today at $69 before it goes out. If you're watching this, most likely I'm in the meditation retreat, so I will be praying for all of you guys. And just click on the description down below of the video. Right there, you'll see it, and you could pre-order that course. It's gonna be out by the end of next month or the beginning of February of March. One of the two, people, because I have a 10-day retreat to do, and I want to finish the course after the retreat, because I think the ideas are gonna be so much better. All right, man. I'll see you guys later. Pre-order, man. Oh, I'm closing the channel.